What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I have all the patch notes that you need to know for the season 5 update. Let's go ahead and let's get started. So there's the new battle buddy. They ended up providing a photo. This is Gwen. This is what she looks like. She's basically going to be a brand new announcer, and it's going to just have random audio effects and sounds and callouts that she will give you, such as whenever you call in kill streaks or kills, including specific weapons or equipment, random impersonal events, especially when you win or perform well in a match, is something else that she does. But another thing is that we also have a brand new event. These are the photos that they provided of the event, which I'll be explaining in a little bit more detail in an upcoming video. What they said in this blog post is you're going to be able to choose between Task Force or Shadow Company. The team with the most eliminations at the end of the event will be getting a free reward, which is going to be an operator, which is either Soap or Haranji. And as you can see from the photo, you can see what the skins look like. The Haranji skin is not exactly what we expected, but the Soap skin is the exact one that we talked about. But these are the challenges as well, the photo that they ended up providing. But that's going to be the event. I'll cover that in more detail for you guys in another video. But the next event that we have is going to be the 50 years of hip hop. They also provided us a photo of that with the daily login reward. So there's going to be 3 war tracks that you're going to be able to get: day 1, day 2, and day 3. And then on day 4, you're going to be able to get yourself this weapon blueprint. You can't see it all that well because it is small, but that's going to be the weapon blueprint that you unlock. Now, they said in celebration of 50 years of hip hop, we'll have free content for the daily login rewards. There's also going to be 3 operators coming in, and that's going to be Snoop Dogg, Nicki Minaj, and 21 Savage. That's pretty much everything that you need to know about those events right there. The next thing that we have is going to be the gameplay update. So we finally have some movement updates, which I'm happy about. But it says slide is decreased slide time and increased slide velocity. So players cover the same distance in a shorter amount of time, allow the player to fire slightly sooner after initiating a slide. And then they also changed jump. Small increase to the lateral velocity boost while jumping. Small reduction to the landing slowdown penalty while landing. So that way it does improve the movement just a little bit or slightly. At least they're starting to do some changes for it. Maybe we'll see some bigger ones in the future. But the next thing that we have is going to be customizable throwing knives. Players can now select lethal equipment skins in match only. So that's like just a brand new feature with season 5. Another thing is they have weapon balancing updates. So it says right here, these are all applicable to Warzone only. And they said although they're happy with the weapon balancing that they have in Warzone, there's some weapons out there that are pretty strong. For example, the Cronin Squall was nerfed to the ground, so I'll show you in just a second. But the first one is the light machine guns. We have the Rap H, increased semi-auto damage, reduced semi-auto rate of fire. The assault rifle, the Chimera close mid damage increased. The M13B headshot multiplier has been increased, so we saw buffs with ARs. The battle rifles, here we go. The Cronin Squall, maximum damage has been decreased, minimum damage increased, upper torso damage multiplier decreased, lower torso damage multiplier decreased, and limb damage multiplier has been decreased. And then for the other LMGs, the HCR56 limb damage multiplier decreased. And then for the raw MG, the headshot multiplier has been increased. So a slight buff for one of them, nerf for the other one. And then for the SMGs, we got quite a few changes. The close mid damage has been increased. The neck multiplier has been increased. Upper torso multiplier has been increased. Lower torso multiplier increased. With the mini Bach, the damage step added at mid far range, minimum damage decrease, and the headshot multiplier increased. And then for the Lockman sub, the maximum damage range has decreased. The close mid range has also been decreased. So it got nerfed a little bit because it was one of the best submachine guns. Then you have the Vel 46, the neck multiplier increase, the upper torso multiplier increase. Finally, lower torso has been increased as well, which is pretty much buffing this weapon. The Bass P, the maximum damage range increased, neck increased, upper torso increased, and lower torso increased. So once again, the Bass P also ended up getting a buff. And then the Fennec 45, the maximum damage has been increased. They said, lastly, we're aware of concerns surrounding the Signal 50 in Warzone. While our data does not suggest the Signal 50 is out of normal range of performance, they don't plan on making any changes to it right now, and they're going to monitor it. So it seems like maybe a lot of players have been complaining about the Signal 50. But the equipment also got adjustments. So the drill charge reduced the damage from drilling when a player is stuck with a drill charge, providing a larger opportunity for death from explosion. The recon drone's health bar now updates every time the drone is accessed. Tactical camera removed audio distortion when failing to use tactical camera. Perks also ended up seeing some changes. Bomb Squad will now protect you against death from explosive equipment stuck directly to the player when fully armored in Warzone only. Quick Fix added visual cues for attacking someone with active Quick Fix. Entering an objective with Quick Fix equipped will now visually show when the health regeneration effect is active. And then they did some audio updates, so adjustments further improved audio balance to favor some sounds over others. Airplane audio will be mixed down when using voice chat. Added alert sound from pets when being spotted. audio bug fixes, fixed an issue where knife pickups could play an incorrect sound, fixed an issue where out of bounds sound would repeat incorrectly, and then you have the UI update. So they ended up providing photos of this, but the landing page has finally been updated. Like, we've been begging for this, but they now have them in the form of squares, so you can go multiplayer, ground war, raid, or you can also do it from Warzone to DMZ to all those, and it's just in squares, so that way it's a little bit easier to access and it's not all jumbled up and random like it usually is. But these are the photos that they gave us. There's also a new feature where there's skin carousel in the lobby, added a carousel that allows players to change the skin of their selected operator while searching for a match, which is a good thing for those of you guys who like to quickly queue up the match but also change your skin. And then combat detail widget. They added a new widget that provides info upon a player's death: who killed you, what weapon, how many shots. Widget will list multiple players' environmental damage when applicable, so that way you'll know exactly what eliminated you. Then the next thing we have are the new vehicles in Al Mazrah. These are the photos that we have of these vehicles. Are pretty straightforward. We know exactly what they are. Then we have the global bug fixes. I don't want to talk too much about the bug fixes because it'll make the video way too long, but there was a lot of fixes that they ended up fixing, and here's a photo. Feel free to pause the video if you would like to see all the details for these fixes. But the next thing is they have PC and console settings. They introduced something called the eco mode, found in graphics settings menu with 3 options: off, some behavior as all previous updates with no power saving, minimal, frame rate capped at 60 Hz, and slight drop in 30 scene resolution for multiplayer and Warzone lobbies only, yields an average power saving of 20%, and then there's full, and then that's frame rate capped at 30 Hz, larger drop in 3D scene resolution for multiplayer and Warzone lobbies only, yields an average power saving of 50%. So that's if you guys want to save some power. And then there's special ops bug fixes. Once again, I won't talk about them, but here's a screenshot for those of you guys who are interested in that. And then jumping on to multiplayer, we have the brand new maps that are now available, which I'll provide photos of. We have Punta Mar, the 6v6 map. We also have Strike, that's a 6v6 map. And then we have Lounge, that's gunfight. We have Canal, that's gunfight. And then there's going to be some brand new modes that are available automatically at launch, and that is going to be Havoc. It's basically like TDM, but you get modifiers for them as you get eliminations. We talked about this in the past, but some of them are Ammo Feeder, Boots Off the Ground, Flame Shot, Heroes Landing, Perspective Shift. These are just some of the effects that are going to be available. The next thing that we have is going to be Big Capture the Flag. That's also going to be there. And then there's also the gunfight variants, which I'm not sure why they talked about here as well, because they're not all going to be available right at launch. But anyways, there's also some bug fixes for multiplayer. Once again, there's a whole lot of them. I'll just put the screenshot for you guys. Feel free to pause if you want to check the details. And then going on to the next thing that we have. So for ranked play, they ended up changing some things. It says competitive game settings, new season 5 restrictions are going to have the FR Advancer and the Karak. So both new weapons are going to be restricted. Returning restrictions are going to be the Razorback, the ISO 45, the MX Guardian, the Tonfa, and the Corvus Torch Underbarrel. The skill rating in divisions, end of season skill setback. At the end of each season, your ending skill division will determine where you start for the following season. So bronze through crimson players are set back 3 tiers below where they finished. Example, if you started in gold 3, you're going to be silver 3. And then players in crimson 2 and above will start season 5 in diamond 1, no matter what rank you are, as long as you're above that. And then going on to the next thing is going to be the reward. So they have some new rewards here. They ended up featuring like a video clip of some camos. They have a photo of the camos, which I'll end up providing for you guys. You'll be able to get these depending on the rank that you get. The top 250 is actually animated, so it is going to be hard to get, obviously, but it's a really fire camo. But anyways, going on to the next thing that we have, this is going to be for Warzone. So this is just covering the UI. They improved quality of life, which we talked about earlier, better visibility for contracts and vehicles, also on the TAC map in game. And then there's the playlist update. They did a little photo just to show you what the next 2 weeks of playlist updates are going to look like. So here's what it is. And then you have brand new modes, which is Fort Resurgence, that's going to be available, and then Armored Royale later on. So all that's going to be in season. I don't know why they're showing that in the patch notes. But for the gameplay, so general, new features on Al Mazrah and Ashika Island, the favorite supply box loot, reinforcement field upgrade, portable redeploy drone, signal intelligence contract, occupation scan, high stakes, and the TAV vehicle. So all the stuff that was on Vondo is now coming to Al Mazrah. They're pretty much calling it new features for Al Mazrah and Ashika Island. Now for Al Mazrah, they did some changes. So first off, MRAP vehicle is not available right away, but it will be available in season, and it will be disabled in solos and ranked play, but it will be available everywhere else. The dirt bike vehicle as well. Anyways, they ended up doing some buy station updates. Locations on Al Mazrah have been refreshed to provide new combat scenarios and strategies. The limited stock row now contains new items. You have a reinforcement flare, which is 1 cost 5,000. The PRD count 2,000, self-revive kit 4,000, durable gas mask will cost 3,500. And then for Vandal Battle Royale, there's the Champions Quest, which we've talked about in a past video. And then they have the adjustments. So buyback price has been reduced to 3,000 from 4,000. The PRD behavior increased deployment speed, improved airborne mobility, and increased velocity when ascending. Then they also did circle timing. The delay time before the first movement of gas is now 90 seconds, down from 220 seconds. The close time of how long the gas takes to collapse to the next size is now 215 seconds, down from 270 seconds. This change does not impact the rank, they'll stay the same there. We're shaving off 3 minutes of the first circle's logic with the combination of reducing the wait time before movement and collapsing faster. The initial circle is displayed and in player earlier, which will be more clearly highlight for the safe or not so safe areas. Then the remainder of the match will pace and play the exact same way. The circle size decreased the size of the initial circle. This change does not apply to ranked. And then the loot, they increased the spawn rate of the gulag tokens, redeploy packs, and reinforcement flares. And then for Vandal, the circle placement, the first circle is now more centered in Battle Royale and Resurgence. And then for Vandal Resurgence, it says reinforcement flare improvements. Players will now get into their reinforcement flare refunded if it fails to deploy. The reinforcement flare can now prioritize players who are connected to a match, so it doesn't like spawn in an AFK or something like that. And then for the UI, Battle Royale win streak tracker, there's now a win streak tracker on the menu and in-game display your progress towards the Champions Quest. There's total ammunition count, and then there's the total squad cash, so now you don't have to do the math adding up everyone's money to see if you can get that loadie. But anyways, the next thing that I wanted to mention is Mazra's doing an update where the player count is going to change. So from 150 players, it is now going to be 100 players. This will obviously help more games start a lot faster, but at the same time, there might be less gunfights in actual game because there's 50 less players. I am curious to see how that's going to work out. But anyways, let's go on to DMZ. So they said right here, Mazra, Sheikah Island, and Vandal are all under attack. Both sides will be fighting with everything they've got. Calling in kill streaks is what is known as active combat zones. Intel suggests higher quality supplies and gear are more present in active combat zones compared to single faction areas. In Mazra, all cartel are KIA within the Cache complex. Coney found it, completely gutted it, and found some additional hidden tunnels under the city. So there's map updates there. They've also lost Building 21, and you can try to help get it back, I guess is what they say. But here's the gameplay changes. There's Disguise, which is built for pure stealth engagements. The Disguise field upgrade allows you to turn into an AI equipped to disguise, and DMZ combatant of the same faction will not attack you unless you blow your cover. There's Battle Revive, which is basically self-revive, but when you stand up, it's going to be Battle Rage. The next one is going to be Self-Revive Box, so just like an armor box is going to have self-revives in there. There's the Scuba Gas Mask, which is both a gas mask and the scuba gear, or like a rebreather. And then you have new missions and urgent. So new missions and new urgent missions, if unlocked, will become available in Season 5. And this is a new one, which is Friendly Fire. So now you're working with Shadow Company and you're an ally, and they will become hostile if you shoot them. But other than that, they won't shoot at you. And then they did adjustments, improved clarity on some mission descriptions, adjusted infill locations across some exclusion zones. Basically, some spawn rates have been adjusted in some of the areas. And then they did some bug fixes, which I'm not going to talk too much about, but here's what they are. This is everything you need to know about the Season 5 update and the patch notes. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see here on the channel. We'll make some follow-up videos to cover some things more detail. For example, the brand new events, some more rewards that we're going to be getting, things like that. So comment down below and let me know what you guys want to see. But anyways, been your boy Chidzo. I hope I'll be seeing you guys again. Peace.